Сайн байцгаана уу хүн төзөгчтэй. Өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгээр Монгол улсын эрчим хүчний хангамжийн тухай мөн эрчим хүчний нэгдсэн системд сэргээгдэх эрчим хүчний их усүрүүдийг холбох тэрнтэй холбоотой бусад чадварыг бий болгох ийм төслүүд, ийм үйл ажиллагааны тухай ярих гээд би өнөөдөр энэ Японы олон улсын хамтын ажиллагааны агентлагийн ЖАЙКА гэдэг мэргэжилтэн ноён Такеши Наито та ярилцж байна.
Наито Такеши, ЖАЙКА-ийн төслийн мэргэжилтэн. Японы Сэдэв их сургуулийг улс төрийн бакалавр, Сэдэв их сургуулийг олон улсын харилцааны мэргэжлэр магистр зэрэгтээ төгсжээ. Японы цахилгаан эрчим хүчний мэдээллийн төвд судлаач. Японы олон улсын хамтын ажиллагааны байгууллага ЖАЙКА-ийн эрчим хүч болон уул уурхайн группийн ерөнхий зөвлөх, Камбож дахь дамжуулах системийн ашиглалт, засвар үйлчилгээг сайжруулах төслийн мэргэжилтэн, эксперт, SPS Energy компани олон улсын төслийн группийн менежер зэрэг албыг хашиж байсан. 2023 оны 5 дугаар сараас ЖАЙКА-ийн сэргээгдэх эрчим хүчний хэрэглээг өргөжүүлэх зорилгоор эрчим хүчний системийг тогтворжуулах төслийн мэргэжилтэн экспертээр ажиллаж байна.
Хам богдуул хатан туулгуулын хөвөндөх цэнгэг агаартай бүсэд байрлалтай. Хүүхдэд ээлтэй хотхны төлөвлөлт болон эвл амьдралын хэм маягийг эрхэмлэгч та бүхнийг King Tower апартментийн 5 дугаар элчим орон сууцнд урьж байна.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Let's talk about, since you have been working for quite some time on the project called Project for Ensuring and Improving the Power System Stability for Greater Integration of Renewable Energy in Mongolia, right?
Yes.
So since last year, isn't it?
No, since 2023. So that to
23.
23, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So almost 2 years.
Yes.
So what is that project about? Tell us, please.
Yes. So it is to contribute the renewable energy integration to the Mongolian power grid. As everyone knows that the renewable energy, especially solar and wind resource in this country, is so huge. It is said the total amount of resource is equivalent to 1,000 times of domestic demand of energy demand in this country. But at the present, the total share of the renewable energy in power sector, in the power supply, only 10%. So it is a very limited number of that. So there are some reason, there are some obstacle here, but so we are focusing on the technical issue of power companies.
You talked about obstacles. What kind of would you rank these obstacles?
Yes. So let me explain about the relationship, the solar and wind energy and power system itself. So power system, we should always keep the demand and supply is equal.
At least.
At least, but it needs to be save the standard of the quality of the power. But the demand is always changing.
Increasing
and decreasing. I mean that in every second, the power demand is changing. So therefore, that the power supply side also has to follow or cover that changing.
The change.
Changing. But everyone knows that the wind the wind and solar generation system, we cannot control power output from that. Therefore, other power plant, I mean that conventional coal power plant in this country, has to compensate the changing in demand side and output from wind and wind and solar energy. But ability of this kind of follow-up or compensation by coal plant is also limited. Therefore, the how much solar and wind energy resource can be connected power grid is defined by the ability of this kind of the function of in conventional power plant.
So how much that change at any second in our general energy grid is compensated by the renewable energy? Is it in the same way as in Japan, or is there particular obstacles to have this in harmony?
I see. Yeah, it's very good question. But I don't know if it's the direct answer to you. I think it is not direct answer to your question. But at the present in Japan, only total 20% it's the in power supply from renewable energy.
Supply,
Yeah.
Renewable energy. In Mongolia, 10%.
10%.
In Japan, 20%.
10%.
So this means in Japan that connection of renewable part of energy and the constant part of energy to be very much regulated so that it really supply the demand which may be lacking. Then it should be not that easy. What is this integration process? What is about that? What is a device, or how does it work?
Yes. So basically, therefore, the power system engineer has to calculate the ability of this compensation so function in the grid. This is the starting point of the procedure. So in our project, so we focus on this point. I mean that for the calculation, the power system engineer has to simulate the situation using the latest computer system, and the how much so they can install, and where they can install, or something like that.
But the physical infrastructure is in Mongolia existing.
Yes.
There are also engineers who are doing that, right?
Yeah. But how to say that kind of ability should be improved.
And I understand you have been training,
Yes.
or making possible for our engineers to understand more from your experience in Japan.
Yes.
How many engineers you have sent so far, and how long?
We invited the total over 100
100.
power system engineer from National Dispatching Center, National Power Transmission Grid Company, and UBEDN, Grand Battle Electricity Distribution Network.
So all of them have that capacity. Each of them have these organizations have own capacity to integrate renewable energy to the grid.
Yes. And I would say that not only this simulation ability, but also the other ability of the calculation or the maintenance of the equipment, something. So total 100.
And how big is the project in financial wise? Is it a grant or is it a loan?
Yes, so this is a grant.
Wow.
All of that is a grant.
Japanese grant, another grant.
Yeah, technical.
Of how much money?
Over maybe $2 million US.
$2 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over. Yeah. It's not incorrect, correct, but I think nearly that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So engineers go there, you train them, you check the infrastructure here, or you increase, or you install new infrastructure to have better integration.
Yes, so how to say that not only the sending the engineer, but also our Japanese engineer also came to
here.
Mongolia and to see that the present situation in this country and to check there. And so we gave the lecture to the engineer, and we prepare some the recommendation or the draft of the manual or something. Yeah.
So,
And so on, yeah.
do you involve CHP4 here? Because JICA has a traditional, very much good relations with CHP4 since 90s, early 90s.
Yes.
When we had severe problems
Yes.
linked to a supply of coal or the equipment inside.
Yes.
Japanese engineers came and saved from the cold, frozen weather.
Yes. So yeah.
And so how much CHP is involved, CHP4 involved in this project?
So that unfortunately this kind of, this time, so that the CHP4 and other CHP companies doesn't
not involved in the project.
Involved. But the one time, so that we I would say we invited 5 engineers from the CHP companies, not only CHP4 but also the other to invite Japan and to show how the thermal power station can contribute to integration of the renewable energy.
Some power stations.
Yes, thermal power. The thermal is the coal and gas power station.
Coal and gas.
Yeah.
Okay, so your project had included training.
Yes.
And also capacity building. What does it include more, except training? What is the outcome of the project?
So we conducted training, and so we prepared some manuals for the power companies.
Power company, you mean dispatching companies?
Dispatching company and NPTG and UBEDN.
In that process, you have been traveling South Gobi, etc. And how do you find the situation, state of our power supply system?
Yes. So once I've been to South Gobi, and I did said that the power renewable power resources is concentrated in South Gobi area, but the power demand center is here, Ulaanbaatar, and the northern area. So that the distance is very long.
Yes.
Yeah, over 500, 600 kilometers.
600 kilometers.
Yeah, kilometers. But the transmission line from South Gobi to Central is the limited. So
capacity.
Capacity.
So it's a matter of making new transmission line.
Yeah. So if to develop the renewable energy in South Gobi, we should invest maybe huge amount of the investment for the transmission grid expansion. You
mean expansion in capacity terms, or it's new line you talk about?
Maybe new line also needed.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So it's to be parallel with that one, or it's go separate? Have anybody done feasibility study on that?
Yeah, I had some other developing partner. Now they are trying to make that the master plan of that. So, and then maybe they have some plan to finance to do that. And so for us, for JICA, so we conducted the technical cooperation.
So the issue is not only South Gobi,
Yeah.
which is rich with renewable energy sources, but other parts of the country
yeah.
also have certain potentials.
Yes.
So it's a matter of collecting into one spot all energy, then transfer to Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, or we go line from each sources.
Yeah.
How does it?
It's very a good point, I think. So Mongolia is a so huge country. So yeah, of course, the how to say the people and economy, it's concentrated in the center.
Half.
Yeah.
50%.
Yes. So how to say? But the construction cost of transmission is how to say?
Expensive.
Yeah, very big, and especially in this country. So how to say that the construction work itself is not easy compared with other countries.
My question is, renewable energies transmission has different characteristics compared with normal energy transmissions. Is it different parameters?
Not so much. Only that the price.
Price-wise. Otherwise, the same electricity coming to the grid.
Yeah. It's not change.
Okay. JICA is now conducting energy transition roadmap survey.
Yes.
What is that about?
Yeah. So that at the first, what is energy transition? So energy transition means to using the fossil energy resources, that shift from fossil energy resources to the low carbon emission energy resources. So this is the energy transition, and now so Mongolia it depends on the coal. So, but how to say now the situation in the world, it should be changed.
That's another question comes because Mongolia, as today, it's very much developing country. It needs more energy, and energy should be cheap, and only and abundant. Source of energy in Mongolia is a coal.
Yes,
and why we should. Instead of, we need to supply the country all over the country with a cheaper energy that the people can buy cheaper. And then renewable is expensive now still. So how do you see the balance? Because it's one thing if a country like Japan or the US to make a transition faster because they create more harm. The Mongolia is less. How about that?
So this is how to say. This is my personal opinion. This is how to say that it's different from apart from that energy transition survey. So this is my personal opinion. So that the coal is very useful, very economically, and we can use how to say coal not only. Electricity energy resources, but also the heat. Heat also can be used from the coal in this country. Therefore, that I think that this situation means that the coal-dependent society
such a way.
So cannot be changed maybe for 10 or 20 years, I think.
Yes.
But at the same time, so Mongolia has the huge renewable resources in this country, and it should be used not only for Mongolia but also the more global or the region-wide viewpoint is needed. So you said the export. It's also this is one way to contribute to prevent global warming by Mongolia, I think.
For that,
I mean that in the domestic, so Mongolia will use that coal for more 10 years or 20 years or something. At the same time, so the Mongolia can export.
So basically,
energy,
for domestic consumption, we for quite some time from now, maybe 10 years, 20 years, we will be still using coal because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
For the renewable energy, also to look for export market. And in that sense, Mongolia, if we have kind of guaranteed market to buy it, so we need to agree with China. I think we principally agreed with China to export renewable energy. Now we need to create capacity to collect that energy and transfer it to China, right? And maybe to Japan. Anything about that? Discussions? No discussions?
Only that the draft plan.
Yes.
Yeah, the Asian super grid or something. Yeah, idea, but just the idea.
I know you are working with renewable, but with the most effective source of energy today turned out nuclear energy. And you are renewing your nuclear energy capacity too.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Mongolian perspective of creating nuclear power stations here?
I see. So this is also my personal feeling. So that now we JICA is planned to new scholarship program just started. So we how to say invite that maybe total 20 or something from worldwide. But so for the research about new energy technologies in new energy technologies include nuclear. So I
mean in Japan or in Mongolia?
In Japan.
In Japan,
yeah.
okay.
So I have conducted some academia in nuclear study in the university or the institute. And I was very surprised that so of course the number itself is not so big, but the not small number of students and researchers about nuclear
in Japan.
It's in this country.
Mongolia.
In Mongolia.
Okay.
And many of them are studied in Japan or Russia, and they have got the PhD degree or something.
Okay, in nuclear energy.
Nuclear energy. So that I mean that Mongolia has. Yeah, it is said that Mongolia has uran resources in this country, but not only the resource itself, but the human resource of that is also.
We have a nuclear power industry,
Yeah.
and we need a lot of human resources trained before that.
Yeah.
And do you see as JICA any feasibility, any near future feasibility that Mongolians learn from your nuclear industry?
So that maybe we can now we can do only the human resource development and how to say, and it's not about the nuclear industry, but for the how to say that the research or academic or the government officials, regulator.
Okay, regulators, researchers, academicians. Yes. Some of them already going to Japan.
That program will be started from this fiscal year. Japanese fiscal year will start from April.
Okay.
So now I'm still on the selection process of the candidate.
Okay. Well, it's nice to hear that. Our president had suggested the Russians, because the Russians have small nuclear reactors. Modular nuclear reactors. They have already functioning one on the ship in the north of Russia. And we have been invited them, and now they start doing research capacity feasibility study for new Harhorin city in all the capital city in the middle of the country. So I'm glad to hear that you, as JICA, will help Mongolians to be trained somehow in that industry. Okay, back to this roadmap survey.
Yeah.
So how things go on? What are the results so far?
Yeah, now that purpose of that survey is the which kind of technology in energy technology. So Mongolia has to challenge to be achieve the energy transition. Yeah, and which field can JICA or Japan support to do that? And through that survey, so we have discussed with Mongolian government so about this point.
Have they mentioned about the future of possible nuclear power stations in Mongolia in this survey?
So the survey is still on the early stage.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe that the report will be maybe finished will be maybe early in next year.
Early next year.
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah. Okay. So through the discussion, maybe that the Mongolian side will give us some of the comment and which field they want to do or something. Yeah.
You also, because I'm again back to this roadmap of transition, we have been talking to China now. We will make Irtinburim power stations, hydropower stations. Now looks like they start already in construction. And also we negotiate with Russia about another bigger Igingol power stations, which we had certain resistance, but now it looks like it will be going on. So my question is, does it include hydropower energy sources into that roadmap?
Yeah.
How do you find our Ulaanbaatar dispatching systems? What kind of challenges do they have?
Yeah, I think that the people in energy sector, they have to say very hard that they try to work very hard, I think. So that in Mongolia, the power demand has been increased maybe annual 5%.
Yes.
Every year 5%.
Yes. And yet we don't increase our capacity of supply that much.
Yeah. So that the latest, the major power plant is still CHP4 now.
Yes.
So CHP4 is that age is over 40
Yes.
years.
So it should not be feasible. Why they would do that? Why they try to renew 40 years old power stations, all technology?
Yeah.
How do you find that project wisdom?
So maybe there are some reason so not to be able to investment, but the engineer and the technicians in CHP4, so they have tried to keep the condition very hard. Yeah.
One thing is they want, the other thing is how realistic is this to keep for longer. Anyway, you have been working in Cambodia. If you compare Mongolia with Cambodia, which is post-developing country, where we are we so much backwarded or?
So I think that maybe it is the first time for me to come to the cold countries.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the weather condition. It's totally different from the South Asia. And how to say that if the power cut happened in Cambodia, so AC cannot be used. Air conditioner, cooling system cannot be used. But I would say we can survive. But in Mongolia, especially in winter season, if the power cut or the heat steam cut, so we cannot survive. Therefore, that the Mongolian engineers in power sector, so how to say their attitude to work for the people that is how to say I always respect them. They are how to say this kind of the attitude for the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot country has different challenge.
Yeah.
But Cambodia has a lot of hydropower sources.
So they also their power increasing rate is earlier 7% or something. So, but they have they success to call the investor from the other countries, especially China. So that the condition of power supply and the demand balance is always keeping.
Thank you very much for giving a light on that project. And Mongolian people really need more supply of energy, more capacity. And unfortunately, somehow everything is going too slow here. Yet energy is so important. And we recently increased certain percent our prices for household energy or also business consumption. By the way, how do you find that our increase of prices?
Yeah, so I don't know the detailed number or the detailed calculation of this increasing, but the cost recovery is the principle of the business. So I think this is a very welcome situation for power sector. And
Well, we have not been covering cost.
Yes,
Only
still.
now with the increase of the
Yes,
price.
yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you.
За хүн үзэгчдээ өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор ЖАЙКА-ийн мэргэжилтэн ноён NAITO оролцлоо. Тэгээ та бүхэн манай эрчим хүчний салбарт байгаа асуудлуудыг бас тодорхой хэмжээгээр тодруулсан гэж найдаж байна. Баярлалаа.
Цэлгэр уужим орон зай. Хараа баясгах, үзэмжид харууц. Цэвэр агаар, тав тухтай орчин. Тансаг, давтагдшгүй өнгө төрх. Таныг илэрхийлэх төс хийцлэлтэй King Tower. Тавдугаар элчийн орон сууцны загварын байранда та бүхнийг урьж байна. King Tower Apartment.